is on this instrument. This is the instrument I always love practicing here on Twitch. First, I want to start by saying good afternoon to all of you. Happy Sunday if you're here in the Western Hemisphere. Happy Monday if you're in the other side of the globe. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I'm going to be playing some pieces on my instruments. I have one of them here with me. This is the alto recorder, and we're going to be playing some Bach pieces as well as some pieces from Pokemon and other fandoms and movies, as well as video games and TV shows. The first piece I did want to start off this stream with is one of Bach's concertos, specifically the Brandenburg number 2. The Brandenburg number 2 actually has this solo part for the recorder, as well as a solo trumpet, a solo violin, and a solo oboe. And it's a very interesting piece because, again, thinking about a concerto, in the modern sense, a concerto has one soloist versus the whole entire orchestra. However, in the Baroque period, you could also have this type of concerto called a concerto grosso, where you had a group of soloists versus the rest of the accompanying orchestra. Again, in this concerto by Bach, this is the second Brandenburg concerto, we have the concertino group of one recorder, one oboe, one trumpet, and one violin. And then the rest of the orchestra that's going to be accompanying would be the violin 1, violin 2, the viola, the cello, and then we have the basso continuo section, which would be a harpsichord, maybe another cello, a double bass. Also known at the time, they would have had a bass violon, which is basically this, if you want to think about it as an early double bass, that's one way to think about it. And sometimes you also had a lute accompanying the basso continuo. They're kind of like a rhythm section in the Baroque period where you would have the sustained instruments, so like the cello playing the bass line, and then you'd have something that had the ability to play chords, so something like a harpsichord would just improvise off the bass line. Alright, so that's a little bit about the Brandenburg Concerto number 2 by Johann Sebastian Bach. Let's start at the first movement. The first movement has this fanfare-like theme. It's not marked anything tempo-wise. However, the Brandenburg concertos, as well as a lot of other pieces by Bach that were in the concerto format, use this Italian concerto form, which was fast movement, then slow movement, then fast movement. So, being the first movement in his concerto here, this is going to be kind of at an allegro. I like taking it a tiny bit slower, just because of some of the fingerings and some of the phrases are easier at a slightly slower tempo. And then, of course, we'll go into our second movement. That one is actually marked, if I remember, it's andante. So it's going to be a lot slower and a lot calmer. And then our third movement is the allegro assai. This is actually a very famous trumpet solo. I could take a crack at one of my other instruments because it's in the range of that, but yeah, we have the fast allegro, then we have the slow andante, and then we have the allegro assai. Alright, let's get to it. I have my binder of the part, the sheet music right on the side here. The lighting, I don't know what's going on. It's very sunny outside. As you can see, the windows, it looks like, I don't know, they're blasting the house with a flashbang or something like that. One of those strong flashlights. But okay, let's get started. This is Bach's Brandenburg Concerto number 2. I'm going to be playing the recorder part. I'm going to try not stop. I'm going to just go straight through. I might change the tempo here and there, like a little bit of rubato, but other than that, I'll try to not stop. Alright, we're going to start in the first movement, and yeah, let's do it. Sorry about that. Okay, here comes the slow movement, the Andante. It's in 3, so this past movement was in 4/4. This one's going to be in 3/4. This is the Allegro Assai, now moving into 2/4, and again it's one of the fast movements. I'm going to start with the trumpet solo. I'm going to just play through it, unless you want to sit here in silence for a little bit and then just get into it. But I think it's best if I start on the trumpet solo and then just go into the recorder part. Right, that was Brandenburg Concerto number 2. We should try the trumpet part. Let's try the trumpet part. I have an instrument for that. Let me switch to it. Okay, this is going to be much louder and much more high pitched, so just a volume warning right there. This is the sopranino recorder. That was the alto. This is the sopranino. It's basically 1 octave higher than the alto recorder, so it's in the key of F, but the F that it plays is actually the F that's on the staff, the highest F that's on the treble. And that's going to be the starting F on this instrument. As you can see, I forgot to add the recorder oil on there, so it's kind of getting stuck, but I think I pushed it in. Have I pushed it in enough? Yeah, I think so. Alright, so this is like what it sounds like. Yep. Alright, so that Brandenburg number 2, remember how I said there was also a trumpet part? I'm going to try and play the trumpet part on this instrument. Alright. Again, going back to Allegro number 1, movement 1 of Brandenburg Concerto number 2. Sounds so cheeky, this instrument. All right, here's the third movement. This is the Allegro assai. Let me make sure this is pushed in all the way. I noticed that I was like sharp and flat and whatnot. Okay. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. All right, where was I? Thank you. Oh, man. That is so much fun to play. I might actually play through it all again. Still so much fun to play through. Oh man. I really love the theme in this. I love that. There we go. That octave jump is a little bit tricky. But I just love that. This fanfare theme. There's even like a callback in between. Remember at the first movement where you're going... That's kind of in here. So dun 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 dun. Right here. It's okay. I'll point when like I'll go like that when it comes in the third movement's theme. See, he kind of like somehow connects to both of them. I really like that. Okay, let's move on to another instrument. Still a recorder. Let me see what piece I want to play with it, though. Let me find... Should be somewhere in here. Did I get rid of it? Maybe I did by accident. There's always this... Oh, here. I would usually go into playing another Brandenburg, but then let's get some like different instruments. Here, I'll bring out my tenor recorder this time. We'll be playing a bit of, again, with Bach, but we're going to be looking at the Bourrée from his orchestral suite number 2. I'll be right back.
Hello.
Hi.
Bakit nobody in the shower?
No, they're not here yet.
Ah,
They're not here yet.
they're not here yet? Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the tenor recorder. It's the deepest recorder I own at the moment. It is about twice the length of the standard soprano recorder. And with that, in instruments, usually it's going to be deeper the larger the instrument is. And on this instrument, it even has this key right here for the pinky to get that bottom C. The bottom C on this instrument is actually going to be middle C, aka C4. So it's 1 octave below the soprano recorder. Has much more of a mellow sound to its tone quality as well than compared to the soprano, which is kind of screechier. Okay, so the piece again will be from Bach. This is his orchestral suite number 2. I'll be playing through Bourrée 1. I'll attempt the second Bourrée, but I kind of know how to play the first Bourrée, so we're going to play that one for sure. And yeah, Bourrée is just a fast French dance, so it's not going to be taken too fast because, the fingerings are kind of a mess if I go at the actual speed, but we're going to play through it. let's continue, shall we, in the orchestral suite number 2. There's a few other ones in here. Of course, there's the bandinieri, but I can't play that at tempo at all. I can, however, play the movement beforehand. Let's go to that movement. The second to last one is a minuet. So again, slow 3/4 time dance, very stately and courtly. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to probably switch to another. Let's see what I want to do now. Why don't we move on to some Pokemon music? I'll be right back. Let me get a drink of water before we continue. Alrighty, I am back. Thanks so much for waiting. Okay. I know there's not anyone in the chat right now, but sorry about that. I had to go and get something so we could start. I'm gonna just be playing a bunch of like Pokemon music from the end till the end of stream now. Alright. I have my second thing open so I could actually see the parts of some of the things that we're gonna be playing. Oh, let me get rid of that. Okay, what song am I starting with? I think last time we did Floraroma Town from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I'm going to start with maybe some Kalos pieces. You know how they announced the what's that now? Pokemon Legends ZA. I might start there. Lavier City, that is one I haven't played. I haven't played that on stream yet. Let me find it. I have the files for it. Okay. Yep, that's what I needed. I just needed the piano part. All right. I'm hoping it fits on the alto. I think it does because the lowest note that I see on the screen isn't anywhere near the bottom of the alto, so I think we should be good. All right. This is a little bit like the piano. I'm gonna stop that right there before I get a copyright thing, but okay, so again, it's that Lavier City from Pokemon X and Y, and it's very waltz-like. It's in the key of, that's 3 sharp, so an A. Those are... What is that? Arpeggio. There's an arpeggio. was the first time I didn't realize there are that many key changes. So the second key change is into D major. The third one is into B major. Interesting. That key change was a little bit tricky, so I was going from something like that, and then it goes into B major. Wait. Yeah, that's right. It's a very spooky sounding piece. I really like it. Very, very whimsical at the same time, too. Okay, another song from Pokemon X and Y. I can't remember if someone made it. Now I can't remember if someone actually made it in a piano score or not. There's the Parfum Palace. I'm thinking of actually doing an arrangement of Parfum Palace in the future. I haven't found one that isn't the piano version. I was thinking of like a Baroque style, like string quartet or something like that, because if you listen to it, if you remember in the game, it's that fancy like mansion where you have to go and chase that furfrou in the maze, and in the track in the game, there's actually a harpsichord playing in it, which is pretty cool. Let me find that. I know there's a sheet music of it somewhere. Here it is.
Check out these deals of...
Oh, that's gonna get me copyrighted. Wait, that is not the correct key for it. That's not the correct key. Let me find the one that is in the correct key. There's only one person viewing this right now. Here it is. This is the one that's in the correct key. And then Parfum Palace. Okay. correct because that's a C flat. Why is this C flat? Oh, okay, I see why. Oh, because he's going into the next theme. No, that's not where it ends. Forgot it's a melody, so isn't the full thing. That's why the second half of it's missing. Let me try that again. Scroll down. Oh, there was a key change there. That's why it didn't sound correct. No. It still doesn't. Da, 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 da. No, because da, 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 da. It has to somehow go back into D major. So the only part that I know how to play is basically the. That's not correct. It's something like that. Something like that. maybe there's not supposed to be a key change there because it sounds like it could go into D flat, not D major. The main part of the song is in D major. Oh well. That was interesting. Okay. There's also, I know in Wavering Emotions, that's from the other game, not X and Y. There's Anastar City is also from X and Y. Let me think what else. Oh, Route. Oh, this one. This one is for sure from X and Y because I even did a cover of it. I say it to no one in chat. Okay. Sure, I could get it to full screen. No, I cannot. So. Okay. Wait, this one doesn't have the beginning part. Let me see the chords. Wait, I need to put that up one octave. Alright, thank you so much. I think that will be the last song before I pass out and run out of air. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I know that not many people were on right now, but regardless, I really find so much joy and thanks in playing all these pieces, just performing them in front of a live stream. I really love doing that. Regardless of how many people are watching, I just love hopefully sharing these pieces to all of you and a little bit more about these instruments that I love playing. Alright, well, that's going to be about it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please do something nice for someone, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.